Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more Witcher. Yeah, I couldn't stay away. So we're doing The Witcher Season 1, Episode 5. Got the subtitles on, great. Always forget to do something, right? So, full spoilers, you haven't seen this episode. It is called Bottled Appetites. Man, okay, so this isn't quite as good as an intense of an episode as Episode 4, but we get the meeting of Yennefer and Geralt, and it's as explosive as you would expect it to be. Ciri's story is pretty predictable by what happens at the beginning. You can tell where this is headed. And then I thought that we'd be jumping around, but it's all about Geralt and Yennefer. And what I really want to say, I want to say something straight up first, is that I haven't really talked about how great Henry Cavill is in this. He's having a blast. He is having a blast, and he is really trying to immerse himself in this. He has definitely earned some cred, too, for his stance with the fandom in general. Talking about, talking when he was confronted with toxic fandom, and he's like, people are just passionate. Now, I'm not going to say that there isn't a toxic fandom out there. There is ways for fandom to be toxic. And we're going to have to be really careful in this one, because there's a lot of fucking nudity in this. A lot of it. And while for the majority of it, I'm a big fan. But it's going to be really interesting trying to piece this together. So we're going to get right into it. Where we meet dopplers. People that can take your face, and not just your face, but everything that is you, they know. And this guy, this creepy guy, he's collecting pieces of people in bottles, in jars. I don't know if that's a way for him to remember, if it's just trophies. But he's hired here by Birdman to be an assassin for Nilfgaard. And we find out that Mousesack is still alive. So that's cool, except he's alive for all of about a couple of minutes as he tries to talk down the mage who's too far gone to listen to him. And this guy runs on him, grabs him, and takes his form. And then stabs him in the heart as he says, you don't know what you're doing. You don't even know what she is. And they say, well, she's going to be where she belongs. So says every, villain in these kind of situations. But it's pretty cool. And I was just like, damn, man. He just came back. And now he's dead again. But this time for real, except now somebody's going to be running around in his face. So that's kind of sucks. But it's the harsh reality of this world. Now, meanwhile, the rest of this episode, let's just get to Ciri's stuff, right? So she's with the dryads. They're trying to contemplate what to do with her. They know that the Nilfgaard spies are nearby because they have heads. Their heads are cut off, and that's pretty funny. But they know that the whole army's coming. They want to be able to mold Ciri in their own kind of image to help her control her powers. But they give her the ultimate choice of, you can stay or continue. It's up to you. They understand why her grandmother closed her borders, and kind of similarly what they've had to do with theirs, where they have to defend it with their lives. Could they hold off Nilfgaard? I don't know. It doesn't sound like it, but it sounds like they've got a lot of power still. Whatever's that forest, the power of that forest is something that I don't understand fully. And so, of course, at the end of this episode, the guy who looks like Mousesack comes, and there's a bunch of pretty words. Be your own person. Your destiny is yours. Just because you're tied to this Geralt guy that you haven't even met, it's all going to be up to you in the end. And Mousesack, they leave with him because, of course they do, because he looks like him. They don't question it. And so now they've got her. And so there's only 3 episodes left after this for the season. So a lot of shit's going to go down. And I'm glad that we're finally getting, though, the Yennefer Geralt, introduction, where Geralt just wants some sleep. Time has gone by, a decade. The bard Jaskier he looks pretty great for being 10 years older. I don't think Witcher's age is the same. I'm getting so used to everything that I watch with people that just don't age. But he's fishing for a djinn. If he finds a djinn, he can make some wishes, and if he makes a wish, he can sleep. It's pretty much simple as that. Like, well, he's not looking for grander things like the bard would, you know, and it proved to prove it when they find the djinn urn, and the guy he thinks he's got the wishes, and so he starts making them. But right before that, Geralt and him get into that conversation about his singing voice and how his voice is like pie with no filling, which is really funny and real, like boom, like burn, man. If I like Kelso moment right now from that '70s show, just be like burn. Well, what Geralt says should have cued me into the whole rest of the episode, but it didn't, because I'm already so immersed in the episodes when they start, and I'm trying to like keep track of everything, that I didn't realize like he gets hit with this spell, and his voice is all fucked up, and he's spitting up blood, and the djinn like kind of takes off, and we don't know why. If who's his master, right? You think it's Jaskier. So he's all messed up, and Geralt gets him to this elf who's got his own magic, or his like healing potions and things like that, but he can't really help him because it's magic, and that he needs the help from a mage that's nearby. And we know this is going to be Yennefer, and he's like, well, she's really tricky, and you got to be really careful around her, but if he doesn't get help soon, he's going to die. We also find out that she's looking for a cure. Now, I thought maybe it had something to do with maybe she can't maintain her physical appearance. But it turns out, because her old teacher comes back, that she's trying to have a baby. Now, is that because of what happened in the last episode? I don't know. Maybe it's just biological. I don't want to say that all women want kids, because not all women want kids. Also, she's like, I like that she's like selling her spells, like, or selling her powers to people so that they can have, magic boner spells. And they need words, like they need special words to turn it off. We have to wait 4 hours if we take a boner pill. They just have to have a secret word, which in this case was kumquat, which was funny. The writing in this episode is really funny and dry. Really dry humor in this. I've noticed. There's nothing that's like makes you guffaw or anything, and nor should it. I'm glad that the jokes in this show are very dry. Damn her eyes. So yeah, she communes with her old teacher, finds out that the guy that she was, the mage for, he's dead. There's a new king in town, and she's making a lot of noise. She's basically pure chaos, and she's looking for a cure. She's in direct conflict with the Brotherhood's agenda, and she wants a cure for what was done to her, which is having a baby. And I throughout this whole episode, like, she's got a real chip on her shoulder, like this whole her against the world. And I think I just need more backstory, because I know that she was picked on harshly. She was treated terribly as a child. She was treated terribly when she was at the school. But I also feel like she gained she kind of became worse of a person once she got what she wanted. Like, she wanted the magic, but she never really wanted to be a part of this whole brotherhood thing. She didn't even want to be tied to, the people that she was tied down to for 30 years. So she found her opportunity, and she took off. And they were more than happy to let her go, I think mainly because of her attitude. And that her way of doing things never aligned with theirs. But it also makes her dangerous, because she just kind of is like chaos. She just does whatever. And I understand why they are threatened by her. I don't agree with it. I'm totally team Yennefer. I love her. I think she's great. She's so damaged. She's so damaged, and that has created this monster-sized chip on her shoulder. So Geralt arrives at the town where she's at, where the mayor is, And the mayor, the guy that greets him at the door is the mayor's man, and Geralt immediately makes an impression, literally smashing the guy in the face with the money because he won't let him in. I thought that was great. Um, but we find out that the mayor's already under a spell. He wants apple juice. He's supposed to bring apple juice to her. And we find that, well, a great big fucking, no pun intended, orgy is going on. And there's Yennefer at the center of it all. I don't know, like maybe she just likes watching people screw or whatever, because she doesn't seem to really be, she's not joining in. She's just sitting there with a mask on watching a bunch of people do whatever. Maybe this is just how she's getting her kicks at night, because she's kind of taken over the town now. At least so it appears. And it's nice to see the Geralt, the big old softy. He really does care for Jaskier. I'm gonna start calling him the Bard because I can't. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I don't know if I'm saying anybody's names right, even when I hear it a million times. And is it messed up that as soon as I see Geralt and her together, I'm just like, I want to see them bang? I just do, man. I look at the two of them and I'm like, he's Superman and she's super hot. I just kind of, okay. I need to calm down. And then I see them get to, like, she takes off her clothes, gets in the tub with it. I'm like, now that's more like it. Damn. And they have chemistry. They have great chemistry. And it's fucking with him because he doesn't like it to have chemistry with anybody. Like, he just wants, I think he's just happy with going to prostitutes. He doesn't want to make a connection with anybody. And she knows how to push the right buttons in just the right way. And he gets out of the tub, like, in a huff. And I think he gets out in a huff because she got to him. She got to him right away. They immediately have a connection. So all these things that Geralt's afraid of is happening, I think. He didn't want a friend, and now the Bard is there. He didn't want to have anybody connected to him. Now here's Yennefer, who is hot to trot, and they're oil and they're fire and water, right? But they're just like inextricably, like, you can just tell that they're really into each other. If they could just put their shit aside. But maybe that's what makes it work for them. I don't know. But he finds the genie symbol on the floor, and he's like, no, we're out of here. You're trying to become the vessel. And you want to use him so that for his last wish. So he makes a wish, you capture it, you get to keep the genie, and she gets to make her wish to have a kid. So this is the part that confused me for a second because magic's not supposed to work on him. But she knocks him out with lilac and gooseberries, which at first I thought was like an aphrodisiac, and she was trying to make him hot. But no, he ends up blanking out, waking up in the jail cell, finding out that he went on like this big old rampage throughout the town, extracting revenge in her name. And while she, on the other hand, is preparing to have the djinn go into her with Jaskier's last wish. Jaskier's. Damn it. But what we find out, okay, is that the elf from earlier, they're in the jail cell, and the mayor's man comes to starts kicking the shit out of Geralt. And Geralt says, I want you to burst, you son of a whore. And all of a sudden, it happens. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious. This guy's face suddenly, he's like, I can't do it. But boom! His head explodes all over everything. And it's fucking hilarious. And this is how we find out. He looks at his arm. He made the wish that made the Bard choke in the first place. And he made this guy's head explode. So the guy that's up there, the Bard, she's thinking he's got the wishes, but Geralt's the one in charge of the wishes. So he tries to get there to stop her. He meets the Bard outside, right? And he's like, why are you going in there? She saved your life. I have to save hers. But it's also because he's into her. But he's always that guy who's going to, So he goes in there, and, she's like, I don't need your help. You're free. I don't need you. He's like, and yet I'm here. And then oh man, what does she say? She says something to him, and he just kind of goes, yeah. Like, he's so nonplussed. Like, this crazy shit's going down, and it's just like, is it Tuesday? It's just a Tuesday. It's genie craziness day. And so he tries to save her. She becomes the vessel, and Geralt uses his last wish, which frees the genie. Now that pisses her off because she thinks, oh well, not only did I not get my wish, but like you just released a genie under the world, and now it's going to cause chaos. And he's like, yeah, but it's only because he was trapped. That's what makes the genies dark, is not having their freedom and having to do everything for a bunch of people. And so all of a sudden it's like they're looking at each other because he just saved her life and they're at the bottom of everything. And it's like, oh yeah, they just totally start going at it. And it's just like moonlighting, except, with a Witcher, it's like Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd in Moonlighting, where they're about to call each other bitch and bastard, and then they just start rolling around the floor. And everybody's outside, like the bard and the elf are outside mourning. He's talking about singing songs about him saving his life while they're inside screwing their brains out. And it's just, I like the line, they're alive. They're really alive. Woo! And Geralt's plan works. Like they even have like great pillow talk afterwards, and he's like, my plan worked. And she's like, you didn't have a plan. You were just making up it as you go along. And then he turns over and she looks at him and he's asleep. That's all he wanted, and he got it. He didn't. He freed the genie. He got to screw her brains out, and that helped him fall asleep. Is it? I hope that didn't sound sexist, but that's what happened. And it was a funny episode. I mean, for a show that's really dark, if you really look at this was a hilarious episode. There's a lot of dark stuff happening here, done in a very adult way. But this was very tongue-in-cheek, very dry humor. I loved it. And I'm so glad that these two have met, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next 3 episodes. Only 3 left, so since I've already recorded most of my stuff for the week, we'll be able to finish this up pretty soon in the next few days. So that's it, and I had to make this quick, right? Because I'm telling you, there's so much nudity in this episode. And like, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. We're pretty much at the cutoff point, where Yennefer's pretty much going to be naked throughout the majority of this episode. And while I don't mind it, YouTube does. So if you like this review, please hit the like button. Comment, share, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I'd really like to see some more movement on my channel with these because it seems like a lot of people are watching it. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun if you want to follow me there or just see what kind of ramblings I have. I have a poll on my channel for Christmas on Wednesday. I'm reviewing the choice of a Christmas movie. There's a poll on my channel for either Scrooged, Die Hard, The Ref, Batman Returns, or Bad Santa if you want to vote for one of those movies that I'll be reviewing on Christmas Day. Also, if you feel like donating to the channel, you can go to my PayPal. It's at paypal.me/smirkinggunreviews or my Ko-Fi, which is at ko-fi.com/smirkinggunreviews. So, have a great day. We will be back with more Witcher Episode 6. So have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I just love this show.